Aho Vintikuye Oyasin. Jai Bhagwan. Namaste. Haush, haush. Us, 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 us. Welcome home, my family, my brothers, my sisters. I have, just a few moments ago, I have looked up the meaning of the word yoga. One time, by a group of Hare Krishnas, it was gifted to me this particular book about yoga. And just now I have looked up the meaning of the word yoga in Sanskrit, and it is saying that the meaning of this is to yoke. And from reading this Hare Krishna book, it mentioned how yoga is actually about uniting with God and becoming one. So I'm holding space for us all to pranayama, to breathe together. I'm going to do a few poses, a few stretches. And we can do this together. Have a moment of silence, meditation, mindfulness. Aho, yes, hello Stephen, welcome to the live. Aho. Being here now, I have inspiration to also share with you. I have this really, really wonderful book. It is produced by Swami Kripalu. And in his book, he mentions, let me also clarify which one. It's a bright yellow book on asana. And if you're interested in this book, I will be glad to share this piece with you. This book is magical because it mentions all of the scientific aspects of the organs, the breath, and breaking down all of the poses and exactly what's happening on a cellular memory level as we choose to go through these things. Yes, we are live now. So hello everyone that is joining. I can see your comments. Please attempt to stay focused on your breath and not allow yourself to get carried away with the chattering of the monkey mind, and attempt to just slow down by bringing your attention to your breath. And just notice, if you need to, close your eyes and pay attention to the style of breath. Is there tightness inside the body? Is the mind racing? It's not a matter of judging or analyzing and attempting to change. More so, we are attempting to witness. Okay? No judgment, no harshness. Just simply noticing, like maybe you're not taking a full breath in, or maybe you're not maybe you're not exhaling all the way. Try to listen to your body, and if you notice that there is a blockage or resistance to breathing and difficulty being here in your body, simply notice this. You can thank your body, your cellular memory, your feelings. You can thank yourself for the information. And if you choose, you can consciously breathe in a little more or breathe out a little more if that's resonating. Just try to listen to your body and be gentle, okay? I'd like to also return back to the topic of that Swami Kripalu book, because he mentions how some of the most important parts of yoga actually comes from being in the sitting posture. So he's really big on doing the 3 locks, and that's, from my understanding, it is the anal lock, the lock in the gut, and the lock in the throat. I am not a yoga teacher, so I'm not knowing of all the professional terms and all these things. I am just a personal devotee, you can say, to the study of growing in that oneness and kind of getting comfortable with my own personal body and my own breath and all of those wonderful things. So again, paying attention to your breath, noticing the quality of the breath. Again, is there resistance? If there's any thoughts flowing up, I would like to also introduce you to not try to stop yourself from thinking. Yes, it's important to still the mind, but how can the mind become still if you are not giving yourself permission to listen deeply and actively to what's expressing itself? Maybe you'll notice the type of content that it's expressing through your mind. Maybe you'll notice, hey, those are distractions, or that's emotional reasoning, and that's not really coming from a place of mindfulness, or that was a judgmental thought, or that thought didn't feel good, and then just attempting to maybe replace that thought with something more useful, more helpful, more loving. Jai Bhagwan, Aho. Thank you, Shanti. Okay, so I'm going to begin by doing one of my favorite postures, which is lotus. I will see if I can bring you down a little lower, maybe get you on my level a little bit better. Not sure if this will go down any further. Nope. All right, we're gonna have to play in other ways. But this posture is looking a little bit like so. And I'm not so much encouraging you to do this posture as much as just raising awareness that this is my current position where I am at. And I'm just attempting to kind of just hold those locks while also maintaining breath. If you're sitting in your chair, perhaps you choose to just breathe with me and bring your attention inward. It does help to consciously control your breath, perhaps to consciously breathe in a little more or breathe out a little more. Give yourself permission to make noise also too. That also helps and kind of creates a little bit of more peace within the body. Also listening to your body, if there's any postures or movements that your body naturally wants to do. It's okay if it's just like a wiggle or a shaking, kind of just moving that energy around. Basically, no matter can be destroyed. Yes, it can only change form. So we can choose to move that energy through exhalations, or there's multiple forms that it can be expressed, right? Crying, going to the bathroom, releasing, purging from this other area. There's many, many different ways for the energy to move. And one of my favorite ways is to consciously. Something else that comes to mind to share is you might notice that you are holding on to a lot. So again, consciously exhaling and giving yourself permission to let it go instead of feeling guilt or shame or a need to hold. And instead just letting it go. Knowing just as it was a gift for you to receive and to heal and to understand, sometimes we are to let this go so that it can be received by other individuals, whether we paint that to be a story that feels negative, attempting to release those attachments and to instead just let it go. In the Swami Kripalu book, it is taught that the goal is to maintain this particular position for 30 minutes. It is actually, from my understanding, one of the first postures in the book. However, it is also known to be a master yogi position. Taking time to be mindful. If your day is very, very busy, it is good to attempt to separate yourself from all stimulus. That means getting rid of television, music, people, places, and things, and finding a nice place to kind of turn inwards. If you're in a warm area, perhaps you may enjoy to spend a little time outside, kind of connecting to nature, allowing yourself to feel the weight underneath you. Good job. Give yourself permission to breathe in a little bit more oxygen than you were, even if you need to go in a little slower. Notice if your breaths are shallow. If you're not getting full oxygen, you do not need to have a pulmonary functions test, a PFT test, in order to know the quality of your breath, nor to change the quality of your breath. Simply noticing where you're at in the moment will assist you best in coming to this place of acceptance. Another exercise you can do is follow your breath all the way through. So as you breathe in, tracing the oxygen from through your nose or your mouth and through all your different cavities into your chest, into your abdomen, into your groin, into your toes, into your fingers, into your knees. And you can kind of trace that breath and use it as like an internal scanner to kind of notice if there's pains and aches or dysfunction within the cellular memory. And if you find a level of discomfort, you can focus on that area and intentionally bring in fresh oxygen into that space and exhale from that space. Sometimes you can talk to the data inside of your cellular memory or your body, and sometimes it's epigenetic. It's not just your own personal cellular memory. It could be ancestral kinds of epigenetic memory that kind of lays dormant within the body. And sometimes you can ask it different questions like, what is this trying to tell me? What does it want for me? And a lot of times the information will like subside once it's heard. So it's best to not suppress or ignore, but also like not being, like too harsh with it. Kind of just being gentle, compassionate, a little bit of a witness. So I'm going to roll onto my back with this. Now I'm going to begin to unfold. You can kind of just listen to your own body. It doesn't have to be professional postures of yoga, but there are some professional postures that you may find to be comforting and fun. One that I definitely love to do is like the happy baby. And sometimes you can notice that maybe there's resistance to being that happy baby, or it feels really, really uncomfortable. And a lot of times you can kind of find out what your medicine is, you could say, by noticing what you have resistance to. Like if you're a fighty baby and you don't want to hold your feet, or, kind of like, you could say throwing yourself on the ground, stuff like that. Just simply paying attention to the body. You can also kind of find your edge. And if it hurts or if it's uncomfortable, attempting to not like force yourself into it, being gentle with yourself. Kind of just listening to your body, stretching, doing what feels natural. Sometimes it's easier to do the front fold when we're just kind of like letting our body and the weight of our body like pull us down. Sometimes you can like wiggle. Just like micro movements. Sometimes bending the knees. Just listening to your body. concentration upon the breath if the mind is getting a little wiry. Giving ourselves permission to rest when it feels necessary. Allowing ourselves to feel good. The other posture I've been kind of obsessed with, I guess it's not like really a posture, but I'm kind of obsessed with planking lately. I'm kind of just like strengthening my core. Go! Come here. Rah, rah, rah. Okay. George! I feel like I need a hair tie. If you have a lot of tension in your body, it might be wise to give yourself permission to drink an excessive amount of water. I would challenge you to drink 4 cups of water, maybe slowly, mindfully. George! George. Are you protecting me? Yeah. I also like to do stuff like this. George. George. Come on, you dang George. How am I supposed to do push-ups like this? My hips are always giving me trouble, so I'm always trying to do postures that bring relief to those areas, which sometimes can definitely be that edge of like where it hurts, but also kind of feels good. Food's ready. All right, I'm gonna do one more posture and then I'm going to eat my dinner. I kind of wanted to show you something. I think, I want to say this is called broken heart pose. No. I'm forgetting the name of the posture. Okay, but it goes like this. So you lay your arms out like this, okay? And then you're gonna roll over. I think it's called broken wing. I could be wrong. But basically, if you have a lot of like tension in your chest and like a lot of pain, especially like emotional stuff, this pose can be really good. This is kind of like the middle pose where you kind of just let the throat chakra just like dump, you know? But again, arms like this, right? And then I'm gonna roll onto the shoulder and I'm putting this foot like behind that leg. And then of course you'll equalize the other side, okay? Like that. And then like you can put this arm here or you can put this arm behind you. It's really up to you depending on like where you're at. But basically your job is to just like breathe. Just breathing through that. Now I'm gonna be like excessively curious like what the name of the posture is. But yeah. It's been fun. I like to do this again another time when I'm possibly more grounded, because I'm definitely like really hyper right now. But I thought it'd be like really awesome to do like a live stream where all we do is stretch and breathe together. Like I thought that would be awesome, especially since like we're often too busy and we're working or in the office. So maybe creating just like a multiple times throughout the day where we just breathe. You know, just give ourselves permission to just do some breathing exercises and do like an internal check-in, you know? Witnessing the inner dialogue and if it's helpful or, you know, toxic, or just kind of accepting and allowing ourselves to be where we're at without judgment or control. Cooking with Trina. Well, I'm definitely very hungry and I've been surprised with food, so I love you and I wish you well. I'll do that posture with you again another time. I'll also come back with that asana book. You know, you don't need me. You could totally just like stretch and breathe, or maybe do something different and give yourself permission and sign up for a yoga class. What better way for you to learn different postures and breathing techniques other than getting like kind of hands-on with someone who's like a professional facilitator? There's also YouTube videos, but there's nothing like going in person. And I know like the way the world is right now, it's not very fun to go to a class with a mask on, so I completely have compassion if that's your personal choice not to go. But at the same time, it might be worth it to wear the mask just to have that experience, you know? A lot of times you can get a yoga studio to give you your first class for free. And if they have chanting or yoga nidra, two very special things. I also suggest a cacao ceremony. There's so many different things available to you. Each person's going to be different. So give yourself permission to have your own process. There's multiple ways to getting to the same place. Aho. Ciao.